Hey, how's it going? I pulled some cards and I want to talk about some stuff. So, first, please look at my signs. Because, I might talk about some kind of movie or show or something, but I'm definitely going to have like opinions and things. So, like the sign says, it's not the end of the world. Whoa, whoa. Stop trying to get fat. Whoa. I am so sorry about that. I need to make a slight adjustment here. I think that is the proper setting. Okay. So, now they're all over the place. So I'm just gonna show you the deck when I get done with messing with the cards. So I kind of want to pick up with where I left off from the previous video that I made, and I can't remember exactly what I was talking about. Like I have an idea, but here's what else I wanted to say. So I took some more notes, and I think I can just read all of these. It says, why I stopped watching the diddy viddys. Why I stopped watching is the right word, lean. The various and many YouTube channels posting on it seem to kind of like all of a sudden it just was like a wave or something. So like it wasn't there 1 minute, and then all of a sudden it was, and it was like it just went from like one little thing to like a lot, like really fast. And I was like, wait, whoa. So I will continue. Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, Patrick Ben Peanut Butter, whatever the heck his name is, PBR, I don't know. Fox News hosts. I knew there was a cohort of black Republicans. I'm just appalled that there are so many. And that they think, unlike me, that they're going to get a better deal from Republicans than they did from voting for Democrats. And I don't disagree that the Democrats, both parties, have said they were going to do stuff that never got done. It's just become like, oh, we're just going to say it. Doesn't matter if we actually follow through, which people hate that. And we just, I guess, enough of us are sick of it at once, and everybody's going in a different direction, I think. Like, I am not a Democrat. I was, and then I was like, people that are switching to Republicans because they're disgusted with him. I felt the same way, minus the switching to a Republican part, because they've never said anything that I thought was helpful to me personally or to people in general. And the Democrats say a lot of good stuff, but like I said, they don't follow through so good. And they both do questionable things. That's just being nice. They do terrible things that they shouldn't be doing with corporations. I feel like it's certainly not a government of the people, by the people anymore. It's like paid operatives that like the rich people send in, and whoever is sending in the people that don't know what goes on, what they're supposed to be doing, what words they're saying mean, and so they're not making sense when they're trying to say stuff, and you're just distracted by how disjointed and screwed up with whatever they're trying to say is, and it's just not like legislation that's useful for people. I'm like without a party. I'm like sick of it all. Like they don't. I don't care what they stand for anymore. I need them to do stuff, and I need to what I need is for the political party that ends up being the president, I need them to do the least harm to the most people. That's what I want to vote for. I want it to be like as beneficial as possible for the people of the planet and like all the other stuff as possible. And beyond that, like, I don't care. Let's just make stuff run, make sure it's fixed, make sure people can like live decently, and whatever we can to make it easier for people that are struggling, because it seems like there is a very low tolerance for that anymore. Well, that being caring and helping those less fortunate than yourself, however fortunate you happen to be. It really shouldn't matter if you have and you see someone that doesn't, and you can, I mean, like, I give away money all the time. Like, I don't have any money, but if I have a little and my stuff's taken care of, I'll just give it to whoever needs it. If I feel my caregiver gets upset with me when I give people that are like hanging out with signs money, because she's like, they're gonna take it and drink or do drugs, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. Once it's out of my hands, it ain't my money no more. And by the way, they have to live outside and deal with people that think like you do and do worse to them. So you know what? They need some money. I don't care what they're going to do with it. It's their business. They just need it. That's the only thing I give a shit about. Oh, sorry. Am I though? I don't like all of this, like, tightwad censorship on here. Like, you can't curse and you can't say words about stuff that happens out, like, on this side of the screen 24/7. Like, what are you hiding it from? If it's kids, I thought kids were not supposed to be on here. I don't have kids. It's not my responsibility to keep kids that I don't even like know or really am aware of off of here. That's not my problem. That's a YouTube problem or a parent problem, but it ain't mine. And I do understand civic responsibility. This is not an instance of that, though. And by that, I mean, even though I don't have kids, I pay taxes for schools in my community, and I care about the quality of the education of the other people's kids going, so there. Why am I all sidetracked over there? I don't know. Let me go back to my notes. Oh, right. The black Republicans, like, good luck with that. I don't think that the, okay, so I think the joining in the reporting by the conservative right platforms and Fox News, the joining and the reporting and the judging of the people in that Diddy situation and the gloating makes all of the Fox personalities so rabid and slavering to get in on the discussion. They're not friends. They're not your friends. This all adds to the pile of things to blame black people for, to affirm the conversation about how bad of an opinion that people already have about black people. Like, I'm not saying that, you know, I wasn't as fascinated, although I wasn't like making videos about it, by the whole like spectacle of this Diddy situation. But I finally just, I don't know, it was repetitive, and I also am aware that like they keep turning up things that apparently they were not aware of, even though they were like watching the guy. And apparently he was a CI too, and but you know, criminal informant. It says it right there in the name. So I guess the criminal part was like weighing heavier there in that moniker. But what the heck was I gonna say? It's probably here. Why don't I just read? Oh, I want to interrupt myself because I don't think I wrote this down. So as far as like who black picks what party, that's none of my damn business. It's just an opinion. And I'll say something that I hear all the time, and I used to think it was the right thing to say, but I have come to change my mind about that. And it is that thing where people go, "You're voting against your best interest." Well, it seems like that to me, like, especially in this case. Like, generally, I don't think people should vote for Republicans. I don't care, like, across the color spectrum. Like, I don't think anybody should. Nobody. But people like what they're selling, so I understand what they're saying. I understand the words and everything. I comprehend. I just don't know why that is appealing, what they offer. And then also, they have offered stuff like for years, like the Democrats, and also not done crap. Like they've promised better insurance for years. Like everybody that's come along, I haven't seen. Well, Mitt Romney did it in, what was it, Massachusetts, and then nowhere else. And so I don't know, like, but they don't do stuff too. So don't just be thinking it's just the Democrats. That's wrong. So like that's their business, you know. I can have an opinion about it, but it's not going to make it right or wrong what I think, and that's only going to matter to them. Like it's their business, it's their choice. Maybe we'll hear how it turns out later. I don't know. So okay, back to the reading the thing. Oh, okay. So I had left off about like the Fox people like getting in onto the whole Diddy thing because it's so salacious and it's fascinating, and it's, you know, it's like a roller coaster. It's an amusement park of information. Like it takes you emotional places, it takes you like dangerous places and spooky places and weird, you know, it's got it all. So I understand everyone over there getting an eyeful, and I also think that everybody over there like getting in on it and getting an eyeful is also having some sort of energetic emotional exchange from it, because all these different people are going to have a different like cultural and independent reaction to the whole plateau of, like I said, it's got it all. And also I have said that everybody's going through something, and so even like witnessing it all, like a lot of people are triggered. So they're going through more of a something, having come across it. It's like this whole like psychological deal, kind of like it's more than just like the right in your face illegalities and legal actions and personalities and power plays and all of that. It's just one little part of a greater ecosystem of the same thing. And it goes back to what I was saying in the previous video, where some of this biblical stuff that was prophesied about like the devil and end days, and like the infiltration began like thousands of years ago into like every corner of society. But I think that was, it's like in there, like in there in the Bible, like they knew that that was going to happen. And to the degree even, you know, like it's in there that says that it's just going to be everywhere and we're not even going to notice it. And that's the way that like the devil, because I, again, don't think it's like a person or a, you know, red guy with a pointed tail. I think that, you know, it's like the spirit we take on when we're like doing dirt to people, like being betrayers and thieves and fraudsters and, you know, people that relieve you of like many things through physical offenses and just pretty much like all of the dark and negative things that we will say are good or evil. So, I mean, like, here's an example, a couple of it being, like, everywhere. Okay, so, Red Hot Chili Peppers, okay? They're not rap, but they're in the music industry. I don't know if they're on Universal, but if you watch those videos, you will learn that Universal, I guess, like, the recording part, but also the movie part, too, because it is all a company, a single company. But this is about the rap stuff. So music, Universal, I guess, has a lot to do with it in a weird way. Like, you gotta go look it up. I'm not gonna explain that all here, but Red Hot Chili Peppers, they have an album called Blood Sugar Sex Magic, I believe. That is words that they actually have a meaning. The 4 words, well, I don't know if sugar is in there. They might have added that for the title. I think it's just blood, sex, magic, but it's like a black magic spell thing. And it's not good. So that indicates to me that, like, if this thing that the Diddy videos are saying is happening, where it's devil worship and the gatekeepers are like the priests, I guess, or whatever, I don't know. Like, it's not my, I just know a little bit about it. It's not my thing. But what I do know is that you get promised a lot, but what it takes from you involves humiliation, coercion, injury, up to like end of life type stuff. Definitely abuse, all kinds of like shame and like spiritual terrible boot camp. Like, just like strips you of like all of the good that you had and all of the like naivety and untouched, like the purity that a person would have. They have many ways of taking that from you, while at the same time they're handing you stuff. It's all like, it's a well-known story about, you know, selling your soul to the devil, which is what all these people are saying they have done, and I'm gonna go with that being a metaphor. So the other instance where it was just also casual, and it made me so sad, because once I started seeing all this stuff, like, it sounds outlandish and crazy, but a lot of it also I know to be true, you know? And there's places you can learn about it, like Corey Feldman has been talking about it for years. That documentary on Max that came out not long ago called Quiet on Set talks about it, and those are just slices. It is pervasive, and that's that evil infiltration. It is everywhere. Like, we're so used to it. I was talking about it the other day, like a few videos ago, I think, couple, 3, I think, something like that, where I was talking about it's all around you, and you just have to go on with your life and act as if it's not. You act as if, you know, you're impervious to the temptation that's gonna just if you give in, take you down like bad. Like, you just don't want to go to that route if you have an idea of what's waiting for you, unless you're one of these people that want something really bad and are seeking that shortcut and are willing to accept all those consequences. So it's like such a complicated thing, but I think there's truth to it. I don't know exactly to what degree, but I'm pretty sure that it goes on, and just the fear of it and the belief of it alone gives it power. So the worshiping of this object to obtain other objects, material things, and so on and so forth. But, you know, sacrifices end up having to be made, apparently, and there's talk about that in those videos too. Like, I'll tell you, like, one channel is called Celeb Lounge, and another one's called Lock Trends, I think, like LOC or LOCK, and Trends. I can't remember which one it is, but both means like locks, like hair or dreadlocks. All of what I'm saying, they talk about in more detail on those channels, which I did finally stop watching though, because they weren't really saying anything new. Oh, so the other casual insertion of this, well, that's one of the things. Like, the devil's always going to be sticking more and more of the evilness in your face, because you have, you know, you're not as sensitive to it anymore. Like, just coming into your life, like, you're you're used to it. You're not like scared by it really, because you're not noticing it. You're forgetting that the devil is there waiting for you to, like, just completely relinquish control and just be all, I don't care, I don't know, devil's taking care of it, it's not my problem. That's when it has you forever. But I'm saying it that way because that's what people that, if they believe in it, I think they believe a version of that thing that I just described. But okay, so the casual insertion. I'm watching Tracker, right? And what is the character's name? I can't remember now. But the main character is on there, and he has this interesting background, and he tracks down people that have a reward out for them because they're missing. And so the father was kind of crazy and fundamentalist and like super hyper prepper before it was a thing. And he did something where he's not around anymore, like he's deceased. And then the mother is kind of amorphous, like not fully formed. But the point is that his background is up and down. So he's got siblings. He's got a brother and a sister. The sister has come up a couple of times, and the story has been moving toward him talking to the brother, because that's what he talks about. With the sister, is she wants him to call the brother because the brother wants him to call him, and the brother has been calling him, but he's not answering the brother's calls. And there's some family dynamic stuff, but he finally decides to see and talk to the brother, and the brother turns out to be Jensen Ackles. And I was like, oh yay, because, you know, where the hell is the boys already? You know, like, people are waiting. So I was happy. And then they're talking, he's gonna join Tracker brother on the investigation, and he's like a ranger, and he's like he's like a different version of Dean. But anyway, they kind of like settle their little friction or whatever and decide to work on the Tracker guy's current case. And they're discussing what they think happened, because there's like a crime scene, and it looks like there was like ritualistic practices evidence left behind, which is usually like devil worship stuff. So they're like talking about it, and Jensen, as the brother, just as casually is just all, oh yeah, blood, sex, magic, it's a ritual. And I'm just all, oh, okay, now it's just part of regular conversation. But it's not, though. Like, if you have a kid and they're all, what's blood, sex, magic? And then, obviously, you're not going to explain it to your kid if you know what it is. But it's kind of self-explanatory. And when it involves blood, that, to me, communicates that there's going to be some pain involved. Like, something's going to cause the opening for the blood to come out of. I'm going to get real sidetracked here. When I was talking to the Q people that were finally, like, they had banned from Twitter, so this was back in, like, 2015, and we were exchanging links, and so I started to see a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have seen probably if not for them, the exchanging of the links. And one of them was videos with a clip of like a Hollywood mansion party, or like Eyes Wide Shut style party, which is pretty much what the Diddy stuff is too, just with black people. And then the other stuff looks pretty Caucasian. So anyway, although I'm not seeing like a true depiction, I don't think, except for what I'm about to describe. So from some link I got from one of them Q people, there was this guy, I believe he was an investigative reporter, and he somehow had gotten into one of these parties just to like film and watch, and I can't remember if it was undercover, but he was like pretty obvious about who he was and what he was doing, so I feel like they must have just let him come in, and it wasn't in like the main part, but Angelina Jolie was the featured reason for us to watch this, and it showed her just like wasted, like not even really awake, kind of high, but like not like she was enjoying it, like she'd been drugged type thing, or roofied or something to make her completely insensate, like, or just barely like, she was just out of it. And she was on a table. She was topless. I think she might have been nude, but I just remember the topless part because I'll go on to say the table is surrounded by people, men and women. They're obviously like somewhat intoxicated too, and talking about the fact that Angelina is drugged and laid out on this table. And a man attaches something to one of her nipples, like an alligator clamp or something, and he twists it around like 7 times. And I think people were doing stuff to other parts of her body, but it wasn't. There was some Stark was like in the dark, like it was a dark room anyway, and then there was like a dim spotlight on like the upper half of her body, and I just remember everything else sort of being in dimness or dark. Or maybe I just blacked it out because I don't even want to think about what they could have been doing when I knew what they were doing to her chest. And they didn't show it forever. They just showed it long enough to show what I just described pretty much. But it came back later to the same place, and then like Angelina was more like awake, and she was still obviously kind of buzzed, but she could talk, and she was like sitting up under her own power. She had her clothes on and stuff, and stuff seemed to be over with, like the festivities seemed to have ended, and people were just sort of milling around like when a party empties at 3:30 in the morning. But the interviewer guy says, so what do you think about what happened? She's like, what happened? And he's like, when you were like sort of passed out on the table. And she's like, I was passed out. It's like she didn't even remember waking up from being passed out. Like I don't know what they had that poor girl on. So she says, what are you talking about? And he explains what happened, and she just goes, Really? I don't remember that at all. And she goes, oh, I guess I'm kind of sore. And it was just the strangest affect. But like I said, she was still out of it. And she was also very young. Like, it was around the time that she would have done that movie about the girls in the insane asylum, Girl Interrupted. So that left an impression on me, and it was before anybody was talking about deep fakes. Doesn't mean it wasn't a deep fake, though, but I'm not sure that it was. Like I said, those people always had like some weird links they were looking at and talking about and sending. We were all sending, I guess, back and forth to each other, although I didn't have them. I was more receiving them and going, okay, here, have it back. I don't know. But that's another reason I feel like there's some truth to even that stuff, even as strange as it sounds. So, I've been hearing, about, too far ahead. So, yeah, okay, so where I left off was just saying that, like, I don't think that, like, you should trust, like, all of the enthusiasm of the Republican right commentators in that right now. Like I said, they're not your friends. They're going to go back to what they usually do, which is hating and talking shit about minorities, in particular black people. And you can think whatever you want to think about being a race and how to act in it and what to take personal about it, and seriously, like, you can ignore whatever you want to ignore, but from their behavior that I've been watching for over 10 years, I don't get the impression that they like minorities, and especially not black people, even though they have black people working there. I just did you hear what happened around there? Yeah, at that place when Roger Ailes was still around, and even afterward, like, it's not a good place over there. Like, I feel like they might hold rituals there. It's like, I don't know, I just get an impression like it's just a bad place. Well, there was lots of, like, physical assault, so okay. And I'm not even gonna say allegedly, like, there were court cases about it. Like, it's real. So, they mean us no good. The people on the right. When I heard one say Candace was right, I didn't hear what she was talking about that was right in the Diddy topics that they showed her clipped from talking. But that's the thing with one of those. It's typical clickbait style YouTube or online whatever clickbait, but they'll put something in the headline on the title card that just is not in the video anywhere, and you're all, I clicked on it to know about this thing and it's never there. So look forward to that if you haven't seen those yet. But anyway, they were in there saying that Candace was right, so I don't know what she was right about. I thought about it, and I tried to think of, because I've heard her talking a lot about a lot of different things, and I was trying to think, which time was she talking, have I ever said she's right? That has not happened yet, but we're bipolar politically, I'll just say that and get it out of the way. I've been hearing her in her regular, I just said that, so never mind. It made me think. I felt like this wasn't what I thought I'd been looking at. I felt like I was looking at propaganda, as if the whole Fox News and the other right platforms, whole thing, were actually the drivers of all the videos. Like, the stuff happened, I guess, the, like, raid on Diddy's homes that started all of this and cracked open all of this information, which I guess was out there, but it was in the black community, so no one was listening or taking it seriously. But if you watch that documentary, Quiet on Set, people were not listening or taking seriously those kids either. That's kind of how that whole Hollywood thing works. And another reason why I kind of believe that ritual weirdness and gatekeeper and weird system is real. Like, I think it's an actual event that happens. So many are voiced by AI and not natural human, and that felt fake, as if presenting many false presenters to convey some bullshit whipped up by the government to distract, confuse, scapegoat, and paint black people as bad people as a whole. And nowhere is that a truth. Oh, like, no whole lump of anybody's all bad is what that confusing sounding last sentence meant. So not just the part I shouldn't say has moved on to other interests, but now I wonder what is being hidden from us that we are letting them do to us now. Oh, okay, I said that. Couldn't read my writing for a second. Okay. Oh, wait. But now I wonder what else. Okay, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna add that note. That it. That's your it. Okay. So that point did not get made very well. I think I lost a page. But so yeah, I was kind of freaked out by like the whole larger than I realized Republican contingent of black people, or right leaning. Because there was some terminology that I heard some use that's on the right, but not very many, and none of them like just identified as that, but they were just accepting and agreeing with Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro and I think there was another one, but I can't remember who. And I was like, that's weird, because like I mean, like none of those people, including Candace Owens, which is I guess kind of weird. I don't think she likes black people very much either, even though she is one and her child is one. She has talked about it. I don't get the impression she like the same way like Clarence Thomas. Like, I don't think he does either. Like, his people, sure, because like they're his people, but I said it, that's all. I don't need to repeat myself 50 times. So, okay, like, I don't agree with that, and obviously, I have a problem with it, not because it's all, oh, my black brothers and sisters. I don't have that, because I don't feel like it's real towards me. Like, the people that I know close, like family, I don't have that much of a rapport with, so I have a hard time with it from strangers, but that's my stuff. So I don't agree with it, but black Republicans, do your thing, like, you know, I'm gonna do mine. So, but after that, like I said, I started to feel like it was propaganda, because it just changed the whole tone when all those people started showing up. It changed. It started getting different, and that's when I started thinking, oh my God, this is more tinkering, like Ice Cube said, social engineering. This is just like, I felt it really strong, and I'm not taking away from the experiences that those people are saying that they are having or have had at all, because I believe them. I just think there's a lot of things going on all at once, and nothing is the way it actually, nothing appears the way it actually is, which just makes everything more more confusing. And I started to talk about what I was talking about in like the last video I made or two ago, where I was talking about how the darkness and the evil is so close to you, like being at a picnic, and you know full well when you go out of the house with the food and the sweets, you know, like, and the drinks that attract all the bugs, and you go bring it outside, and then you go sit on the ground, you're sitting, you wait, you've now gone and sat in with the bugs. Metaphor for like, I want that Hollywood thing so bad. You can do horrible things to me and make me agree. I'll agree to whatever, no matter how terrible. And it's terrible, but I really want to be like a pop star or whatever it is. And now I got sidetracked. Well, I guess there's nothing more to add to that, really. That's kind of just what I wanted to say about it. It's just something more to beware and be aware of. Like, it's just one more, like, hidden temptation trap. It seems like anything involved with, like, great success, the stuff that we consider to be success made, like lots of money, you know, property and whatever goes along with that. Ooh, I'm so excited. It just sounds like a lot of trouble. Like, you can't even just like have good things and do stuff without having to agree to go through a bunch of terrible stuff or go do a bunch of terrible stuff. Again, watch the videos, because it is so terrible, I'm not even going to say it. And why am I laughing? It ain't funny. It's, I guess, nervous laughter, or just the idea of, you know, me doing the terrible stuff is laughable, but it's not funny. So, from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck, this is the deck. I had one card, and then I, for some reason, felt like, oh, yeah, you know what? Maybe another couple more, and then 4 came out, so, oh, I'm sorry, 5. No, 4. It was too many. And, that's how I feel. But anyway, I'm just gonna go a couple at a time. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna need to use all of them. We'll just see. So, the first card I pulled from that deck was the Eyes of the Eagle, rising above the fray. And if I were gonna apply this to what I was just talking about, I would say that it is very difficult to see what's right on underneath you, right beneath the blanket you're sitting on top of Dirty Bug World. Okay, you apparently you need magnification to see what's right in front of you, and that I'm also as myopic as anyone else. I didn't, well, I mean, some stuff I did notice that I can say, oh, okay, well, because of that makes sense, but I can't, like, give you a laundry list of things that I noticed and was like, oh my god, this has to do with that, even though it was all right there, like Corey Feldman and, I mean, pretty much Elijah Wood, okay, like, somebody just mentioned him as a lump with, like, Corey Feldman and Corey Haim and a bunch of other people that have come out. Like, before that Nickelodeon documentary came out, there were people out there saying, this happened to me. So it's not new. It's that kind of thing is ancient, actually, and again, it goes on. It is allowed to continue because people want it to. It is not something that we could not stop if we did not decide to. When I say we, I mean the law enforcement agencies and the military of my country and all the other countries. If they wanted this to stop, it would, you know. It's not it's not even hiding, really, because that is what the world is becoming with the evil devil influence thing. So it's just, isn't that so interesting that this total like Bible thing is actually playing out, and people are like, I don't believe in that, I don't believe in religion, I don't believe in God. It's like, okay, but this matches that, so believe shmeeve. Anyway, so yeah, maybe you need to take a much closer look, and also like step back, and once you have a clue, perspective does give you a better chance of seeing these kinds of things, because they're sort of hazardous, really. And then the next card I pulled was completely confusing. It's the number 25 card. It's Garden of Venus, and it's rest and renewal. And that only makes sense personally, I think, just as of now, because I didn't realize quite how much anxiety viewing all of that stuff was giving me about like black stuff, like black person stuff that like applies to me. Like, I don't know any of those people, but it still made me feel things about being black, about them being black, about how we're all viewed, how somebody said if one of us looks bad, all of us looks bad, and that is so true. I mean, it feels like that's the truth, because I mean, you can just be a black person and go somewhere and not be doing anything wrong, but someone can come along and be like, this person just did something, and you could just be killed in the next minute. And that's what it's like being black. Woo! Yay! And I don't think people realize, like, I mean, they do realize, because that wouldn't still be happening if enough people were upset about it. It wouldn't be allowed to happen. So think about that. It's so nice to know that your life is not worth much to some people, but I'm seeing on like various different broadcasts, not necessarily mainstream, but in some places there you could probably find it too, is that people are like, they're like, don't cancel me, but we'll get rid of you to death. What are you saying? What are you saying? And then in the next breath they'd be like, I love Jesus and I'm a Christian. He didn't do what you did, though. In fact, the Justice Alito's wife today said she wanted a flag of Jesus Christ's heart or something like that, and that's supposed to signify how bad and wrong gay and trans people are. And I'm like, is your Jesus out of the Satanic Bible? Because the Jesus out of the Bible I know liked everybody that everybody hated. Like, what the hell were you, where did you learn your catechism? Like, that shit is messed up. But it's pervasive. So many people are like that. And this also prophesied in the Bible. Like, people are going to be saying stuff about religion and God and Jesus that ain't true. And, you know, like, calling themselves God. Like, oh my goodness. How many people do you know that have done that? I don't, well, when I say no, I don't mean maybe you know someone personally, but maybe their name was Godfrey and God was just a nickname. I'm talking about people that want to confer like religious holiness upon themselves and are acting like any way but Christian, like the opposite of Christian, more like anti-Christian. Is, they wouldn't say so, but I would. It's a matter of perspective. It's an opinion. But I also pulled 3 cards from the yeah, I'm just gonna move on to some other cards from the angel number deck. This one right here, and they had a lot to say. I got the 1818 card that has the subtitle Willpower, and I'm just gonna point out here, because I'm gonna show you the other cards. But willpower is interesting because I was talking about temptation and the consequences of succumbing to it. So that card should be interesting. I also pulled the number 888 card. The subtitle on here is Karma. And people are gonna, maybe are not in the same place with defining karma as I have recently become. But it is not about you doing something and it coming back to, like, you know, boomerang you and smack you. Like, if it's not, if you like do something to somebody else and then like God's gonna come get you and you're gonna be in trouble. That's not what it means. So what it actually means is what we came here to live out in our lives. Like, whatever it is that we do throughout our lives, it's predetermined, and that is what karma is. That is what it means, not the other thing where it's like what comes around goes around is gonna smack you when it comes back. It's not that. There was another one, the number 777 card. Good luck is the subtitle. So I am going to read now from this here 1818 card. So, you know, if you do the numerology, 18, well, 1 and 8 is 9. So 1818 is 18. Again, the subtitle is Willpower. Wow, significant events are on the cards for you. You will progress in your endeavors and gain new experiences. The right people and resources will be put onto your path. An excellent proposal or change is coming up. You're destined for greatness. Woo! Well, that's positive. I wonder if that has to do with me personally, like taking a turn, like a left turn away from, you know, paying so much attention to all of that diddy stuff with its really kind of negative and terrible undertones, or, you know, overtones too, really. So the 888 card, the subtitle is Karma, and it reads, a lot of money is coming your way. Fortune refers to more than just monetary and material success. Good, because I was just saying the monetary and the material I'm a little wary of, because that seems to bring a lot of problems with it. It seems to make people think they can do any old thing, including completely ignore the feelings of other humans and, you know, watch the videos that I talked about before. If you don't appreciate the people in your life now, you won't have them tomorrow. This message encourages you to take personal responsibility and use it to realize your greatest potential. So that's interesting there, what it says about the people in your life. I think it's talking about, like, family and friends and maybe your employers, and not taking those people that are also invested in you. Like, you may also be invested in them. Like, you may need stuff from them, you know? You know, they may already be doing stuff for you, like teachers or parents or something like that, or your boss. So I think that's basically about not taking people in your life for granted, and absolutely remembering, like, the interchange that, you know, what you do for them, they're doing also something for you. It's not nobody's. It's not just a one thing for one person. Nobody's doing something for everybody else and not themselves, I guess, is what I should say. But it is possible to do something for yourself and everybody else. I think that's optimal. Interesting. Much more positive than the talk has been. So that's good. You know, things do, you know, run through their cycles. Like, all of that stuff was, like, kind of hidden for a while, and apparently the didster is, like, sloppy and careless about it. And that's interesting because, you know, whatever position he's in, he's got to be under a lot of pressure. There's a lot of people talking about him. From what I can glean, he don't like that. No one really likes it, and people are saying not nice things about him. But he's alleged to have done some friggin' terrible stuff. So, people can have a reaction. We're allowed to have that. Your life has become public. You're not going away either. So, sorry if you're hearing stuff you don't like, but people are seeing and hearing stuff they hate. And it just don't look great on you, buddy. It's not a good look. And so, I mean, I'm sure he's feeling that. I'm sure his family are feeling that, and whoever else loves and cares for the guy. And, you know, also, like, people around him are getting hit with this stuff, too. It's just an experience for so many people. Like, so many people are, like, entangled in this. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's, like, cracking open stuff that pretty much everybody that encounters it is getting triggered in some way, and that just indicates to me that it was ready to go anyway. Like, that volcano was getting ready to blow. Moving on to that last card, the 777 card. Good luck. Contentment, prosperity, abundance, spiritual awakening, divine intervention. So I started with the keywords on there, and I'm glad I did, because I was praying earlier before I started this, and I was, as always, well, not always, when I remember, which is usually always, part of what I do is pray that whoever needs it, whoever's in a situation where they're is completely, you know, they're deprived of everything that they would normally have if they weren't, like, running from a war, or they were trafficked and they're just not at home at all ever anymore. And whatever it is that's got you feeling lonely, like you're in prison, whatever's got you feeling like lonely, just desolate and desperate and hopeless, and you know that, like, beyond the, like, walls of wherever you are, you know that it's better out there. Like, there's still good stuff. Like, maybe your life wasn't always dismal and sad and scary. And so for people that are feeling all of those things, I tend to sit there and go, well, I feel like good, and I'm so lucky that I have these things, because, well, my because doesn't matter. What matters is that I'm good, and so I want to share that with people that are not feeling great and not feeling good. Like, please, if I can do anything, let me give you this. You know, and so that becomes part of my prayer. And so contentment was what I was thinking about. Also prosperity and abundance, because, I mean, I have under $10, but I have some dollars. I have a home, you know, I have food. I have light. I have a computer phone. I have things. So, and all of those are, I mean, with water, which I have, it's gonna keep me for like a couple of months, maybe longer. might replenish supplies. You don't know, but so that feels prosperous to me, because like I wouldn't mind having money for stuff that I need. I don't think I need it for stuff that I want. That feels like it's like getting into that, stepping over that line into excess that can be so dangerous and so seductive and tempting. Like, rather not go there. And so abundance, well, I think that is what I have that I'm wanting to share with people, because I feel like I have enough of it to share, even though it's very intangible. But it's also like, you know, they can place their order at the magic shop and I'll cover the cost. Like, I'll pay for it, I'll have it delivered. Like, whatever the thing is, like, I feel like that's kind of what I can do with my abundance. I can share it out, and that's how. A spiritual awakening, I would never have thought that way without a spiritual awakening. Quantum physics would not have meant what it means to me without spiritual awakening, because it is so involved with it. Like some of the mathematical concepts are descriptions of reality. So that quantum level of things, that's how we kind of access it as just regular old layman people. And I don't know that we could all say, like, this is how I do it, this is how it happens, but we can be aware of it. We can, I think, even be aware of it enough to be like involuntarily, like, using telepathy and shit. Divine intervention. Those help. You know, when things are going real bad, that's when they come in handy. So I will read the text here. The message is most likely to reach you during, this message is most likely to reach you during intense uncertainty. I think that it, not just because of that Diddy thing, but that right there is an area of intense confusion for a lot of people still, and that's going to be ongoing, I think, for a while. There's a lot of threads to that investigation, and unfortunately, I don't think we're going to know everything. I don't think they're going to share everything there is to know about the details of that case. Not right away, anyway. So, I mean, I feel like there's going to be a big, long, remains to be seen period while investigations finish up and interviews and stuff at the lab and whatever. Or just plain investigation could still be happening. You know, there's a lot of people involved, so there's more pieces to the puzzle. So I also pulled the bear card from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. This is the guidebook, but this deck, and I got like real caught up in watching that stuff, because like I said, it was hitting me on a lot of levels, so I kind of needed to work through some stuff, and it was on a lot of levels, not just personal stuff, making me really uncomfortable thinking about stuff that it's close to me, but it's not my stuff. But I know, like, it's the stuff that I was seeing that, like, it's like, you can't, like, talk about that. People have to come to that on their own. And I'm just all, but I want to show my work. I get it, though. Like, I'm not gonna force it. But I did feel like the bear waking up from hibernation, because I did have to, like, sort of stop doing like everything for a couple of days and just, I guess, realign. I don't know, something about like rebooting myself, I guess, and just like not, just like break up my routine, like not do things either in the order I normally do it, or just not do things at all, and just break up the monotony, like just throw in a wild card. Like you got to do it every once in a while. And in that time, I was processing, like I felt like a lot of downloads coming in because of like moon stuff lately and sun stuff and space stuff. And all of that has an effect on people stuff, on earth stuff. And I've been deliberately like staying pretty open to, you know, catch as much of this feeling as I can, because I'm trying to differentiate which feeling connects to what. Is it internal? Is it external? And then other stuff too. So there's like a lot of stuff happening in here where I'm trying to figure stuff out, and it just, yeah, I just needed to like shut down and not like tax my brain too much and not like overthink and all of that. Like I really just, it almost felt like I treated myself to like what almost felt like being pampered by like my grandmother when I was small, where she just had like all of the things you liked, you know, just perfect, and she was so happy to have it and make it for you, and she'd make it with you and show you how. And you know, your grandparents just make you have that special feeling. Most of us have had that experience. I apologize for, you know, for people that didn't have that experience. I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but it is like a time in your life where you feel especially cherished, and I don't know if I can explain it better beyond that. But what happens with that guy, the rap guy, producer, that's gonna be some interesting legal activity. So the number 38 card, Many Masks, that's actually kind of apropos for the Diddy fella, because you probably would say he wears a lot of hats, but the masks talk about who he looked like and who he actually has turned out to be. He's the same guy that said, "I'm innocent, I didn't touch those people. That girl is lying, she just wants money, she's a terrible gold digger." And then the next day the video came out of him beating up the gold digger, allegedly gold digger. Again, laughing when it is not even funny, but that woman is fine now. It took place years ago, and I don't have a lot of sympathy for the guy that does a bunch of stuff that is now biting him in the back pocket, and that's his bad, not mine. And the subtitle on here is The Authentic Self. So what's interesting, if you watch those videos, there are a couple that have a title card, or on a piece of media inside the video, it will say, and sometimes there's even someone saying the say part, he can't be his authentic self. And I understand that. That is so astute, because culturally, like being gay or doing gay stuff, I think he's one of those people that would say, "I'm not gay, don't call me gay." Because he definitely doesn't sound like he's relegating his conquest to one specific gender. Sounds like he's pretty fluid with it. And it sounds like he wasn't always that way. Although, what people are holding inside when they are a part of a culture where, like, it's better if you just don't say anything if that's what you want to talk about. That's got to be like incredibly crushing and anxiety making. Like, it just sounds terrible. And I feel bad that if he's going through that, like, you have my sympathy, bro. That's not a great way to feel. Herald of Change. Well, I mean, I'm surprised I didn't pull the Tower. Oh, I don't have tarot cards. Well, I guess this could be the equivalent of the Tower, because that, like I said, that whole Diddy thing opened up a dam of accusations, information, just horrific discoveries and surprising, and like I said, it's got it all. And I like that it's like the day is breaking, like the light is shining on all of this crap, and this horse and person, this writer, just sort of bathed in the light. It's almost like they're being cleansed of all that yucky stuff that I was talking about, that they know there's even more yuck there. Oh crap, am I already... Oh, shoosh, I'm gone a long time. And then the last card of the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck cards I pulled was the number 36 card, and the 3 and the 6 add up to a 9. And this card is Lost in Space, and the subtitle is Needing Direction. So when I pulled it, I was thinking about the 9 thing, and it's so funny that it's like, it made me think so close, because 9 is like right before 10, which is completion in both these cards and tarot cards, I think. I think you could say that. And so close to completion, so close to the earth, like so close to understanding themselves collectively and what's going on, but actually really far away, kind of, not like on the, near the planet is not on the planet. And also, do you need help seeing? Because it seems like you might be having a forest for the trees myopic moment there, person that's lost in space, even though you're right next to your planet of origin, presumably. I had this other deck that I just got, and I would pull it out the last couple of readings that I did, and then I forgot to use it, so I pulled a card from the Messages of Cosmic Oracle deck. The English is my second language Oracle deck. And the card reads, "Speak up and speak out. Let your voice be heard loud and clear." Well, that's interesting, because as far as all that Diddy stuff is concerned, a lot of people are getting to have their say. And it coincided with that law. I don't think it's going to be around forever. I think it was like a limited edition, a limited time law, but it was the Adult Survivors of Violence Act, I believe is the name of it. And it gave people who's suffered like SVU type offenses and didn't get to like have justice or their cases taken up, this was a time for them to go in and report those cases. So, you know, once the woman on the video came out and people saw that what she had been saying, which, you know, a lot of people that weren't there didn't even know who the people are talking about, like in the comment sections online, but then also the people in the videos whose names are associated with all of it in some way, they didn't know all of everything either. So they're out there talking too. Like I said, everybody's going through something, and part of the something everybody's been going through is processing the triggering that they're experiencing due to the revelations and this experience that they're having, and other people like me way on the periphery seeing like that. And because I'm seeing it from an eagle's eye view, I can see that it's not just in one place, it's not just in two places, it's like as high up as you go, there are people doing it. As far as you can fly, there are people doing it. Just pull out your eyeglass and look around, and you'll see like a symbol or the right kind of building, or you'll have the number to call to meet up with the people that will purvey your perversion. Like uber kink. So speak up and speak out. It's what it was, like what I was saying. It's what it's all about right now. People are getting their chance to do that, and that it feels like that's right and good, because like with the Me Too movement, people scoff and like think it's bullshit, and it's like, man, if you have been like overpowered 3 or 4 times, it can make you really angry to hear people say that, to say that like it's not real. It's not someone just looking for money. And it's that phrase, another one of those ones that makes you want to rip someone's throat out. Well, why did you say something? Because trauma needs time to heal, and even when it does, people are not, sometimes they never talk about it. Like, people don't, like, they think, oh, like, it was sex that happened to you. But if it, like, was sex and you were, like, too young to be having it legally and too young to be having it physically, like one of you, and so many other wrong things about things like that. Why was I even talking about that? I lost my track. Oh, shoot. Well, anyway, if people have been happening to you in a bad way, speak out now. Now's the time. Other people are doing it. And if you have people scoffing, let them, because keep talking shit and see if it doesn't turn around and come happen to you, speaking of karma. But if that did happen that way, it wouldn't be like revenge. It wouldn't be like spiritual revenge coming to get you for smarting off. It would be because you planned it that way. And that includes everyone involved. That they don't know you, but they still get to be involved in your thing. So that's fun. That's quantum, kind of. All right. I think I said my thing. Did I? I know there was like a big point about watching the videos and then deciding not to. Well, deciding not to was a good idea, because that too gave me a chance to have like some perspective on all of like my personal triggered stuff about it, and just processing it just as a general member of society. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot, especially if you have no idea any of that was going on. And it's a lot if you find out about it and you believe it even a little bit. How do you look at your favorite actors or music people anymore? Because I don't know how many of them had to go through that type of situation. Like, if it wasn't that exact one, like whatever one they had, like, I don't know if everyone had to do that, but it sounds like it's pretty hard to get anywhere big and famous without having to go through a bunch of hoops. I don't like that. That's a terrible way to treat one another. I hope that from all of this, the people at the top of the cascade of pain and BS, I hope that they stop. Like, knock it off already. This is terrible. And this has got to be, like I said, the trafficking business that's been going on for thousands of years. And because for certain people, it's fine, it's okay that happens. But again, as a person that's experienced the multiple forced upons, you never like it. It is not fun. You just want it to be over as fast as possible. So I stopped making a big deal and just letting it like happen. I hate that term because I have that association with it, and so many other people do as well. But sometimes you have to do that to survive. But just because you have enough composure to do that, that's a survival mechanism. That's not like casual dismissal. That is, I have described it as having your soul forcibly removed. And that's another reason why I don't go for like that devil thing, because the stuff that we little humans are doing to each other feels like we're ripping each other's souls out. Feels as bad as, you know, if we want to assign it all that evil extra to it, then like go ahead, heap on more bad feeling if you need to. But it's enough knowing that like we can get like a terrible idea in our head, whether it's on our own or if aided by a like nosy trickster that's nearby looking to get in on some trouble. We create temptation too. Like we mean to and sometimes don't mean to be tempting people. God, like there's so many things going on that like we don't even know we're doing that affect people. Like we're completely unaware that some autonomous function of our body, like maybe the way we breathe is really doing it for someone. Unless they speak up or you notice them like noticing, you don't know. You don't know that. And that is kind of a creepy thought. It's like the Fast and 36 serial killers. I don't know how often that happens. How many times a day? Yeah, lift up the blanket of your picnic and there's dirt and bugs underneath. And I almost said it like, you deserve it if you end up there, but we all are doing stuff, like I said, that's kind of predetermined. And so I still have the reflex to like get upset and react, but more and more as I like become more comfortable with this way of thinking and understanding life, it actually becomes easier to laugh at and easier to deal with. So that's something to look forward to. That's a good thing. That's progress. Okay, I went really long and I need to unstick myself from this chair. Thank you and good night. And good night. I'm going to go to bed too. Bye.